Ilia Topuria, El Matador. It was nice knowing you in the 145-pound division. Guys, he's gone. He's going to go. He's going to go up to 155. Now, I kind of had a thought that Ilia Topuria's title reign at featherweight would be short-lived. Not necessarily because he was going to lose, but he's got massive ambition. He wants to do it all before he's 30 years old. He's making so much money outside the game. And if he can come in and have a few years of just complete dominance, knocking everyone out, doing exactly what he says he's going to do, then dipping out of here, he'll be able to talk on Twitter, he'll be able to go at McGregor, he'll be able to do all this, and he'll have such an aura getting out of there unscathed. Family man now, he's got a son and a daughter. He probably realises, look, I don't have to be doing this, and I want massive legacy, I want massive ambition, but he doesn't have to stick around for that. Guys, if you don't know, his coach came out a few days ago, maybe a week ago now, not quite, saying, look, Ilia won't be at 145 much longer. Possibly. We've been speaking about it recently. The weight cut's really hard, and he really wants to fight these superstars like Oliveira's, who he's aiming for in April or May, which would be a massive super fight. And Ilia deserves a super fight. And obviously, a name the fans have been chucking out there is Dustin the Diamond Poirier, which I would absolutely kill to see. I think that's the fight you make next. Obviously, it's Poirier's last fight. He gets a massive name against another champion to add to his resume. However, I don't think you throw Oliveira in there, because either Topuria loses, and then Oliveira's already lost to the best at lightweight in the lightweight division, so that kind of kills them both. Or Topuria goes out there and wins, takes all of Oliveira's superstardom, gets a title shot. However, then you've got another massive superstar who's a bit older and Oliveira getting beat. Whereas if it's Poirier's retirement fight against the featherweight champion, another featherweight champion Poirier can beat, who currently has a belt. I know people like to say, oh, Poirier's never been an undisputed champion. Dustin Poirier is the best fighter in the UFC to never win a belt, just because of the wars he's put on, the phenomenal fights he's put on. Also, he has beaten McGregor twice, former champion, Alvarez, former champion. He's beaten so many former champions, and he beat Max Holloway when he was a reigning and active defending champion. So, you can't deny the fact that Poirier is the best fighter to never get a belt. He won the interim belt by beating champion Max Holloway, and that was a part of a world title. So I consider Poirier the biggest potentially the most talented fighter and grittiest fighter who's never won a belt, who realistically deserves a belt. Obviously, had a war with Oliveira, almost got Oliveira out of there, was submitted, had a good fight with Khabib, and had a very, very, very good fight with Islam Makhachev. And realistically, if he goes out there and beats Topuria, maybe fights Oliveira again in a rematch, I think he gets a title shot, especially if Islam is out of there by then, by the end of the next year. You never know what could happen with the division. Islam might move up and fight Shavkat, which would be a massive super fight again. Undefeated versus practically undefeated in the last 10 years. So it's a massive opportunity for everyone in this situation. However, let's talk about the landscape of the featherweight division. First of all, poor Max Holloway. Poor Max Holloway having to go all the way up, be like, okay, I'm going to start fresh. Then Topuria's like, yeah, I'm coming to lightweight. Holloway's would be sitting there like, is this guy following me, man? You know how Holloway is. He'd be like, what the heck, dude? But I mean, Topuria's a thick little man, and realistically, it's not good for featherweight if he doesn't have another fight. His coach came out and said then today, realistically, won't see him at featherweight again. I bet you he's gone home, enjoyed the millions he's made off of destroying Holloway and Volk, and thought, I could eat good, I could fight some pretty handy fights over at lightweight, improve my legacy, never lose the featherweight belt, and be rich and just eat good and afford the most luxurious lifestyle on the planet, fighting 2 times a year. And realistically, if he fights in May, we won't see him back till May, October, November, December. Here's what I think you do. Here's truly what I think you do. If you're going to do Topuria versus Oliveira, we'll speak about the featherweight division in a second. If you're going to do Topuria versus Oliveira in May, that is for the interim belt. Because that could headline the card, obviously if they're struggling, or if it's a women's main event they're going to go for, or maybe, I don't know, who they're going to have at that set portion of the year. Probably the welterweight title fight. You do that for an interim belt. not. I don't want to see the champion at featherweight on a co-main event without a belt on the line. I want to see if he's a featherweight champion, vacating his title, no problem. But because they're not going to give him double champ. I want that to be for the interim. That way, Oliveira gets his title shot again, and that's massive. And then if obviously he loses, we get fresh blood. You can't do Topuria versus Poirier for an interim belt because Poirier wants one more fight. The fight they should do is Poirier versus Topuria. Inject that into my veins. I think Topuria maybe chins him, just an overhand right when they're both thrown at the same time. He's a bit faster, a bit more dynamic. Maybe Poirier grapples a little bit, and then that could be interesting. A proper size difference. There's a lot of options. Topuria versus Dan Hooker. That would be fun. Topuria versus Chandler. I would inject all of these matchups into my veins. If Topuria's coming up and he's becoming a lightweight contender, there's a lot of really good fights. You could do Max Holloway versus Dan Hooker next, which, in my opinion, is what they should do. Or Max Holloway or Dan Hooker versus the winner of Pimblett versus whoever he fights next. Realistically, it sounds like it's going to be Benoit Saint-Denis. Then you can obviously do Topuria versus Pimblett, but hear me out. If Topuria has one more fight at lightweight, and he then gets a title shot and becomes champion, and by then Paddy Pimblett's won once more. Topuria versus Pimblett for the lightweight belt. Ilia Topuria versus Paddy Pimblett for the lightweight belt. Inject that into my veins. Inject the build-up. Paddy Pimblett getting a title shot in the UFC. That's fucking mental, first of all. Whoever thought he would get to that level? And if you do a Paddy Pimblett versus someone now, then Paddy Pimblett versus a Max Holloway or a Dan Hooker, then he gets a title shot against Topuria. Come on. That would be amazing. But in terms of the featherweight division, look. Evloev, keep him away from the belt. That would be the worst champion ever in the history of the UFC. And I can't believe thank God it didn't happen this year, because I probably would have jumped out a window. Secondly, Diego Lopez versus Volkanovski for the undisputed vacant belt would be exactly what I'd be doing. If they're fighting in February, it's gonna be for the undisputed belt. I think Diego Lopez beats Volkanovski. I think Volkanovski grapples with him, but I think Volkanovski, he's old, he's good, and athletically in scrambles, I don't really like his chances against Lopez. I mean, the way Lopez was scrambling against Movsar Evloev was incredible. Then you maybe do Brian Ortega versus someone, Arnold Allen maybe, someone like that. But look, featherweight's still got fun matchups, but everyone has lost the Volk in the top 5 practically, so Topuria going up, then if Volk becomes champ again, that's a really bad look. Because then it's like, yeah, wow, Topuria is excellent, but Volk's always going to have that over his head, Or Volk becomes featherweight champ again, regains the throne, and then what do you do next? Give Volk another shot at double champ, rematching Topuria? That could be fun. Volk seeking revenge, going up a weight class, chasing the champion who's outgrown him. But obviously this is all down to Topuria actually having success at 155. I really think Topuria should fight Lopez, right? One more defense, please, or rematch Volk. I want to see one more 145 fight. Cement yourself, defending the belt a few times, then say, look, it's been fun, but I can't do this anymore. Weight cut wise, I don't want to do this anymore. Go up. As he's getting older, go up. Have a few more fights, 155, retire before you're 30. I reckon we might get 5 more fights out of Topuria. In the next 3 years, I reckon we get about 5 fights out of him. If we get 2 fights a year, we get 6. But realistically, it's going to be 5. I think he fights twice a year for the next 2 years. Then maybe 6 more fights out of him. Which would take him to about 22-0 if he can win them all. And by then, he would definitely have 2 belts. Because obviously, if you're on a win streak at lightweight, you're going to get a title. What they need to do is vacate the belt soon, though. They need to vacate the championship and then go straight up to lightweight. So then the UFC can work out who's going to be fighting for the featherweight title. That's what you have to do, and you have to do it quick. Max Holloway, maybe fight a Dan Hooker, the winner of Paddy Pimblett's next fight in June, July. I feel bad for him, but this is the game. If Topuria wants to move up, he can move up. Let me know your guys' thoughts on everything I've mentioned in today's video. What a career Topuria could have. Seeking big fights, being ambitious like this is rare, hard to come by. I'm excited for him. I'm excited for the prospect of this. And fuck, this could be it. This could be it. This could be a very fun little saga going into 2025. Some new blood in the featherweight division. Maybe Diogo Lopez as champ. Rematch in Evloev. This could be fun. This could be really fun. Volkanovski's still in there. Like, comment, subscribe, guys. Give me your thoughts. See you next time.